Hello and welcome back to my channel, Engineer Fucks Things Up. And today we are going to be mounting this radiator guard to protect the radiator on my bike. As you can see, I already have some slight damage to my radiator. I'll try to show you here. Up here you can see there's already some damage, so yeah, we definitely need to put some protection on here. So that is what we will try to do today. I start by cleaning off this area with some brake cleaner, and that is in preparation of mounting a piece of gasket. Now, the purpose of the gasket is to make sure that the radiator guard doesn't grind against radiator when riding, because riding off-road it will produce a lot of vibrations, so I just want to make sure that nothing happens. So I'm gonna clean this quickly off, and I will mount on this side and the other side, and then we will move on and try to mount the radiator guard. Okay, that is installed, and now it's time to try to fit the radiator guard. I start with the bottom bolt just to keep it in place, and I try to line up the top ones afterwards. There were no instructions with the radiator guard when I received it, so I just trying to take things as I go along. For example, there were no bolts with this kit or nuts, and I couldn't source any lock nuts, so I just have to use a little bit of Loctite to make sure that the nut stays in place and doesn't rattle out during riding. So I just apply that, and I just try to fit the bolts. Now, mind you, these are aftermarket bolts that I have acquired, and they did not came with the radiator guard. Now, I keep saying that this is a kit. It is not, because it was just the radiator guard that I received. So calling this a kit would be wrong. Now, I have some issues lining this up. As you can see in this close-up, things are not lining up. It just seems to not getting far enough to the top. So I have to find a workaround for this, and I take it to the vise and I try to use a file and maybe just take out a little bit so I can hopefully get the radiator guard high enough so I can fit it on the bike. It's a bit annoying when things doesn't line up and you have to do some modifications to fit things, but that sometimes happens, but hopefully we will be able to mount it on the bike. Okay, so it's time for round 2, and we start with fitting the radiator guard once again. And as earlier, I just start with the bottom bolt just to get it in place, and then I line up the two on the top. Once again, you can see that I am having some difficulties fitting the bolts, and it's starting to feel more and more like this radiator guard should have come with some more accessories, like bolts or maybe some spacers or something, because things are not lining up. Even some instructions on how to actually mount it would have been nice, because this is turning into somewhat of a pain. The M6 bolt that I have was not working out, so I tried with the smaller M5 bolts to see if that would make a difference. But the M5 was real fiddly to mount, and I couldn't get the nut to thread on the bolt. So I see that now I need to take off the side panel. So I go ahead and remove the side panel, and like that I got some more space to work. I don't need to remove it completely, but I have to loosen all the bolts, and here you can see I already done that. If you want to see how to loosen the panel, you can see my other video about replacing spark plugs and the air filter, because in that video I remove it completely. But now I just push it away a little bit just to have some more space to work. After removing the panel, I can see this is not going to work at all. Even fitting the nut, this is not a good solution. So what I did was that I made these spacers to mount on with the bolts. And hopefully that will make things easier and they will line up a lot better. So we are going to be mounting them with the bolt here. So yeah, hopefully that will work. I once again start, this time I start from the other side because it's a little bit more easy to access the bolt holes from this side. So I start with the easy ones to get it in place, and then I move over to the one on the top by the radiator cap to mount that, because the radiator cap is kind of in the way. Okay, that is the radiator guard on with the spacers, and that worked a lot better. I really think this should be included with the radiator guard, because you definitely need them if you want to mount it correctly. But yeah, it turned out okay. You can see that it's bending inwards against the radiator here on the top, so I think I will mount some piece of gasket also here to prevent it from grinding against the radiator during riding. A bit challenging to mount in this radiator guard, but yeah, we made it in the end, and for sure it will be giving me a lot better protection for my radiator. As you can see, I have mounted the gasket there, so it will not be rubbing against the radiator and riding. I haven't fitted anything on the bottom because I don't think it will be an issue. Yeah, I'm just trying to line up the shot here. You can see the bolt is in place, and you see in the bottom here it's quite far from the radiator, so I don't think it will be an issue. But yeah, I'm happy with the install now, and as I said, it was a bit difficult, but in the end it turned out great, and it will be some good protection for the radiator. Thank you for watching this video of the radiator guard install. If you like what you see, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I am Engineer Fox Things Up, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.